is. I want to explain why I choose this title. To do this, I must explain two concepts. What people think about Africa, and I want to explain the consequences of the imposition of colonialism. People think about Africa that it has no history because Africans people aren't able to create a culture to lead to development. In European society, there are racial stereotypes and so opposition between black and white people are superior than black people. So there is created an inferior Negro race. About colonialism, European penetration was justified by civilization mission because Europeans who went in Africa could impose their values on African values. But imposition was also political and economic. Economic because in Europe there was a crisis caused by overproduction of goods, and the Africa region of Africa were the area in which these goods can be allocated, and so imposition of capitalism. Capitalism caused the destruction of traditional economy, society and relations. Production of goods and work didn't address it to consume, but to international market. Moreover, European introduced charter, and in Africa there wasn't a monetary system. Exchange was based on barter, and with colonialism, Africans could work to pay charters. And this situation caused also emigration. The phase of decolonization was characterized by people who have emigrated that when he come out in their country took the Western ways of life, so Western values, and the tradition were put aside. And the heart of Africa had a cardiac arrest, but each day heart of Africa continue to survive in each African people. Book I read is Voices from Africa, published by NGLA's Non-Governmental Liaison Service of United Nations, and speak about the link between culture and development, and it is composed by some essays written by African authors, and I speak about all essays. Speak about can I speak about work?
All right.
Yes. So policymakers don't spend much attention to the meanings of work for Africans. Why? Because they speak about Africans' way of work, but they want to impose the European way of work, so capitalistic way of work. Traditionally, work has a vital importance in African society, in which division of labor is sex-based. With capitalism, there was destruction of traditional society, so traditional economy and traditional sector of economy, agriculture, to develop the modern sector, the sector that European think modern, so sector of industry. Imposition of logic of industrialism and wage employment, so African people can work to have money to to pay shutters and not to buy foods or goods in general. Africans that work in traditional sector became a lazy and indolent worker, and for this reason African was considered an unproductive workforce. So, I don't know.
Popular theater? Tell us about popular theater.
Popular theater is very important in African culture because this is a way to to show the position of African against the European. So it is very important in the phase of colonialism, but also today because Africans think at popular theater like an instrument of development, because this is one of instruments that African considered important because it is linked with oral tradition. In Africa, we say that...
Have you ever had a chance to see an African theater?
No.
No.
I don't see invitation.
Okay, go ahead.
So an instrument of development, because it is linked to our tradition and other communication media. Rural radio is very important because manages peasants and people living in villages, informing them on everything that happens in the country. And in Cosenza, the NGO GAO. GAO.
What do they do?
It's the NGO that is in the sociology department. President is Professor Cavazzani.
Oh, another one. And what do they do?
In the past, they did a rural radio in